nhờ rồi chúng nhiệt chỉ cái từng trả sai mà theo chùa số lần số tụ lúc sau cái ta tạo sản sĩ sai đó là Hmong community YouTube TV nhớ trong trong Singapore sang Minnesota đó nó quyền Neng Xiong ý chúng nhiệt chỉ cái từng trả rồi nu nọ quyền cho có bé một sai gì cho lu library mua luôn bé hay tiệt Marny Xiong Memorial Library nhớ trong trong Singapore sang Minnesota Marny Xiong vậy tu school board nhớ trong Singapore nhớ trong nó tất nhiên những vị tụ cá mò COVID và trong nước tàu dạy bây giờ một tàu áo sông lỡ giờ nó sông nó nhớ trong họ bé luôn trong Singapore thì tàu mua ilu library cho là ổn luôn bé ok cho trong nước giờ nó trong những cái tên trả sai họ thì chùa chúa lần số tụ lúc sau tụ gì toàn tên là bé một sao cái tàu ya.
At this time, I'd like to invite Principal McBride and Principal Moose up to welcome us all.
Good evening. My name is Mindy McBride, and I am the proud middle school principal here at Washington. So a little bit, I had the opportunity to actually work with Marny. When I was getting my superintendent's license in 17 and 18, she joined the board. And I knew from the moment that I saw her that her beliefs and values aligned with mine. That peer advocacy for students and seeing their inherent brilliance that they bring every single day resonated through her. I had the opportunity, I was walking into the media center and our artist was painting, and as I walked in, I was shocked because I saw Marny. I saw her beautiful smile that she always lit up a room with. When I heard the news of her passing, I cried because this was such a big loss for us in St. Paul. And I thank you all for sharing her joy with us here at Washington.
Good evening. My name is Elias and I'm the high school principal here at Washington Technology. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to this very special event. I'm just beginning my second year here in the district, so I did not get a chance to meet the late Marny Xiong, but I've heard so many great things about her already. How great and a caring leader she was, how she filled every room with her strong presence and radiating energy. Yes, I didn't get to meet with her, but I can sense her, I can feel her in the great work that she has accomplished within the district. It is through her life's work and legacy that I believe she will continue to be among us. And as Washington community, we feel very much honored to be the home to the beautiful mural that was just unveiled, which will keep reminding us of the great legacy that she left behind. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the Washington Technology Navy Junior ROTC Color Guard will now present the colors. At this time, we ask you to please rise for the presentation of the colors and our national anthem.
Color. Ready. Cut. Color. Ball out. Forward. Mark.
You may be seated. I wanted to give you some logistics also. If you go down the stairs right here on the right-hand side, there's a restroom. Also, if you go to this back wall and go to what we call House 23, so you'll take a left, there'll be a bathroom on the left-hand side as well. So those are where our 2 restrooms are.
For a warm welcome to their lovely school, and a big thanks to JROTC for the presentation of colors. For those of you that were not aware, Marny was also a member of the JROTC, so their participation here tonight was truly requested and special. Up next will be our first set of speakers. First speaker will be our mayor here, Malcolm Carter III. The second speaker will be Dr. Joe Goddard, our superintendent, and the third will be Jim Boo, the Board of Education and our chair.
Good evening. I'm Malcolm Carter, and I have the honor and privilege of serving as mayor of this incredible city. I've had the honor and privilege of serving alongside Marny. I think we're going to hear the word a lot today, sister, because to me she was very much a sister. I think we're going to hear a lot today. I heard MK, the artist, and my goodness, what an incredible rendering on that here. It's just an incredible, lifelike rendering, and MK, I don't see you right now, but wherever you are, thank you so much for gifting that to our community. I can't think of a more fitting tribute to Marny than to put a quote, her likeness, and dedicate not just any school library, but this school's library. This school that serves children from all over the world. Because, and it's one of the things that I shared, so a reporter after Marny passed asked me what I thought her passing was and what she meant to the Hmong community here in St. Paul. And I told him I can tell just by the question that you don't fully understand who Marny was. Because she was a treasure for our Hmong community. And she was one of those rare souls who was a treasure too for our African American community, for our Latino children, for our entire district, our entire group of students. I heard MK say downstairs, what did he say? I'm not the best at what I do, but I genuinely enjoy what I do. When he said I genuinely enjoy what I do, I couldn't help but reflect on Marny. I couldn't help but reflect on the way she laughed, on the way she smiled, and the way that even when we were in moments that may not have been all that fun, it just seemed like she was genuinely 100% engaged in the work that she was doing. In Marny, I know for a fact, we had a leader who cared about each and every single child, each and every single family in this city, in our school district. In Marny, I know we had a leader who never checked out at 5 o'clock. We had a leader who never checked out on Friday afternoon. But somebody who, there are people who do a job, superintendent, and there are people who live a life. And Marny was a genuine person who genuinely lived the life that she preached about, lived the life that she talked about, whether it was at a DFL convention, whether it was in the school district chambers, whether it was just out on the streets or in front of a school after the school let out. She was somebody who was literally always 100% all in for 100% of our students. St. Paul misses her because she was an incredible leader for our city. And I know many of us are here because we miss her presence. I miss her leadership, I miss her smile, I miss her laugh. And if there is an incredible gift that we can give, there's a way that we can carry her legacy on and do something that might earn us one more of those incredible smiles that she was so well known for. I can't think of any more fitting tribute in dedicating this library here on her behalf. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for being a part of her life. Thank you for being committed to our students, to our families, to our community, to moving our community forward in the spirit of our former district chair, Marny Xiong. Thanks for allowing me to share this space and time.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Gothard, superintendent of St. Paul Public Schools, and Marny was my boss. She was the chair of the board when she fell sick. We miss her very much, and yet tonight I'm reminded when MK said, "I don't do colors," my eyes were still a little bit seeing things with how bright and vibrant that mural was. Excellent job, MK, and to all of you who contributed to that wonderful job. Mr. and Mrs. Xiong, Xiong brothers and sisters, family, friends, elected officials. This is one more time in honor of our dear friend, family member, and a great member of the community. And I guess I'd like to share this with you. I got to be the principal of my high school. I've spent almost 30 years as a teacher, principal, as a superintendent, and all that. And some of the most incredible years were being the principal of my high school, my neighborhood, my community. One of the things I remember is I was sitting in my office on an afternoon, and a gentleman came in, and he had little kids with him, and it was summer. And he explained to me that he was at the school because he wanted to share with his grandchildren the August Vandermeer Auditorium. Not the school auditorium, the August Vandermeer Auditorium. An auditorium that was named in memory of Mr. Vandermeer. And he was there sharing it with his grandchildren. So their great-grandfather, this place at the school was named after him. And it made me think about that today because St. Paul Public Schools has been around for 150 years. There's 150 plus years of memories, of legacy, of tradition, of meaning, of doing great things for the community. Marny's name was etched in it in terms of her being a student here, all of you being students in SPPS. She made it to the board. And now that beautiful picture, the mural, the resolution, her name and the letters, and her memory is going to be here forever, the next 150 years. This will always be a place that welcomes you. This will always be a place that your sister, your daughter, your friend, our friend, will have meaning for our children, for our staff, and for all who come to Washington. I want to share 3 things with you. You know, it's often, I could go back and talk about things that Marny stood for at the time that I worked with her and I got to know her. Instead, I'd like to focus on 3 things that have happened recently. She had a big part of it. The first is to talk about ethnic studies. Many of you in this room know that the Board of Education about a year ago passed a resolution making ethnic studies a graduation requirement in St. Paul Public Schools. This was at the request of students back in 2018, and who do you think the biggest fear for our students was? It was Marny. They wanted a class in ethnic studies, but that wasn't enough. They wanted it required for graduation. not just for some students, for all students. Marny was a big part of us having that as a class and as a graduation requirement. This is the first year we're offering it across the district. The second is systemic equity. You know, we had a strategic plan. I won't bore you with all the details of what a strategic plan is and what it is in St. Paul Public Schools. It's a really good plan, but it was missing one really important part. It was missing this idea of systemic equity in making sure that you're seeing and serving all students, all staff, all families for what they need, not what you think they need, not getting everybody to the same place, but truly recognizing what each individual, unique individual needs in the community, and making an effort and making a commitment to serving them. I like to think that Marny planted seeds in me and many others to make sure that that was part of our strategic plan moving forward. And lastly, some of you might have seen a big red banner as you walked into Washington. Anybody see that? Kind of new. If you've been to Washington before, you probably haven't seen those banners. Well, our career pathways work in St. Paul Public Schools has come a long way. We are building a future and future opportunities for our children. We want to, in our students, help them identify who they want to be, how they want to fit into our community, how they want to lead in our community, how they want to work and live and be successful in our community. Marny was always talking about making sure that learning was relevant. It meant something to our students when they were learning. They could make deep connections. I like to think that our career pathways will be living right now. Again, that seeds planted by Marny. Many others, but Marny was a really strong voice and advocate for our students. I could go on and on and on about what Marny means to the school district, the work that I do. There's many other ways that you all know her far longer than I have. Just know that the symbolic image and messages of her in our library are one place in this community that we can all come and experience and remember her. But know that the three ways that I mentioned her work is everywhere in what we do. And that's what I'll go down to tonight. I want to thank the Xiong family for gathering here in St. Paul Public Schools, for working collaboratively with us, for inviting the community, and most importantly, knowing that we're one family, and you allow us to be part of it. Thank you all very much.
First of all, I just want to say, if you feel like getting more food or more drinks, feel free to get up and help yourselves. My name is Jim Vu. I'm the chair of St. Paul Public Schools. And I'm here to read you a resolution adopted in June 23rd of 2020, shortly after Marny Xiong passed away. And we're going to learn a lot about Marny's work in St. Paul Public Schools through this resolution. I want to share with you something I've learned since I've been on the board. Being on the board, being a leader of this district, 30,000 students, 4,000 plus staff, we learn about people who have died, people who, students, staff in our district, we hear about those things. And while it generally doesn't result in any kind of board action, typically what I've learned is that it's generally the school building that rallies to recognize that staff or student, or it's the department that rallies to recognize that staff or that staff member. But in Marny's case, she was a school board member. She was the chair of St. Paul Public Schools. And it was really the seven of us that had to do something to recognize Marny Xiong. And an event like this today doesn't happen without the support of my colleagues who are here today. So I just want to recognize them. So resolution, St. Paul Public Schools. Resolution remembering Marny Xiong. Whereas Marny was born March 23rd, 1989, in the city of St. Paul's, Rotc neighborhood. She was the fourth oldest of 8, Jiahua Xiong and C. Neng Xiong. And whereas Marny Xiong attended Longfellow Elementary, Washington Middle School, and graduated from Washington Senior High School in 2007, And whereas Marny graduated from the University of Minnesota Duluth with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and a minor in African and American Studies in 2012. Marny fought alongside with the Black Student Association in college to successfully create African and American Studies, which she minored in. And whereas in KWB, a local radio station owned by Clear Channel, created a racist parody on Hmong people titled 30 Hmong in a House, Marny led students to join protests at the headquarters and demanded Clear Channel to apologize. Clear Channel apologized and created culturally relevant trainings for employees. And whereas Marny Xiong started her career working at E-Democracy as an organizer, promoting an online community forum afterwards, she went on to work at Take Action, Minnesota as a field organizer, helping to build a program named Organizing a New Economy. She led political organizing in 6 key swing house districts in 2012. And whereas Marny Xiong also worked at the Food Group, Minnesota from 2014 to 16 to fight hunger and nourish the community in an equitable and culturally relevant way. And whereas Marny Xiong was elected to be on the City of St. Paul Neighborhood Star Board in 2015. And whereas Marny Xiong was elected to the St. Paul District 5 Neighborhood Council Board in 2016. Whereas Marny Xiong worked for SEIU as a home care organizer in 2016, and then transitioned to work at Minneapolis Public Schools District as the school administrative manager for Hmong International Academy. And whereas in 2017, Marny Xiong ran for school board in St. Paul and successfully won the race beating all other candidates with over 36,000 votes. Whereas in 2018, Marny Xiong was the treasurer for the Vote Yes for St. Paul Kids referendum campaign to increase school funding. The campaign was successful. Voters approved to support all students. And whereas in November 2019, Marny Xiong initiated a collaboration between community organizations and St. Paul Public Schools to create a resolution for the district to formally recognize Hmong American Day in May. Whereas in January 2020, Marny Xiong was supported by her colleagues and elected to chair the St. Paul School Board and led the district to end a 4-day strike. And whereas in April 2020, Marny Xiong led the effort in reducing a resolution condemning anti-Asian racism fueled by the pandemic and called attention to the long history of racism and xenophobia towards Asian Pacific Islanders communities. Whereas Marny Xiong volunteered on various campaigns in the last decade, a testimony to her belief and commitment to grassroots organizing, representation, and inclusive democracy at all levels of government. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that St. Paul Public Schools and St. Paul School Board and St. Paul Public Schools recognize the value and contribution that Marny Xiong has added to our district and community, and both celebrate and honor the benefits of the lifelong influence she has had and will lead with our community, including elevating student voice, advocating for ethnic studies, practicing inclusive, positive, and resolute leadership, and backing up her optimism with hard work and collaborative spirit. And let it be further resolved, St. Paul Public Schools and its Board of Education will tend to the good work of Marny Xiong, began and carry her spirit of love and service to students forward in all we do, and identify space at the district administration holding at 360 Copeland Street, where all can remember and celebrate Marny Xiong as a friend, colleague, champion for students, and one for St. Paul's highest, St. Paul's brightest, and most enduring lights. Thank you very much.
And we are inviting all of the Xiong siblings, so my siblings and our spouses, so the spouses can come up too. So my name is Amy, and I'm the oldest of our siblings, and then we have my brother Pao, and my sister Mary, my brother Uncle John, my brother John, and then Kong, and then my sister-in-law Maya, and my husband Dai Tao, and then my brother Tom. So there are 7 of us, and there are, I think, 4 of us who are married. And so we decided to put together this poetry contest to honor our sister Marny, and with the themes that Kaying mentioned. And so we are so happy about hearing from the students here at Washington. There were about 35 poems that were submitted related to those themes. And so we would like to have the following students come free to share your poem, and then we will also give you the reward. So we have Sierra Brown, an 11th grader. And then Elsie Tafane, 7th grade. Alexis Lee in 7th grade. And Esmeralda Xiong in 11th grade. And so the microphone is yours.
Hi, good evening. My name is Sierra, and I'm a junior at Washington. It's truly been an honor being up here and sharing my love for poetry with you guys. I want to give a huge thank you to the Xiong family for choosing me to read out my poem to you guys. Like I said, it's been a really huge honor. As a Black woman growing up in America, I've had experiences that I later on realized that I should have had those experiences. Phrases like Oreo, or you're so pretty, or you're too nice for a Black girl, isn't even the start of things I've been called growing up. Sadly, this isn't the only con that comes with being Black in America. One of the biggest cons today with being Black in America is police brutality. Knowing that I would be hopeless if a police were to stop me, not only because they have more power over me, but because I was Black. So today, I will be reading my poem called How to Encounter a Police Officer Being Black. We all had talks about sharing, talks about the birds and the bees. So what to talk most of us don't worry about having? Encountering a police officer. When you're Black, in America specifically, it's a common thing to talk about. Because who wants their child in a continuous loop of hashtags? So they tell us, make sure what you're holding is in plain sight. Because who wants their child being 17-year-old Trayvon Martin? Don't be out too late. Because who wants their child being the next 33-year-old Manville Ellis? And for the love of God, make sure what you're holding isn't mistaken as a firearm. Because who wants their child to be 47-year-old Andre Hill and 22-year-old Stephen Clark? Tamar Rice's mom didn't want him to be the next hashtag, and neither did Gabriel, their parents did. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Esmeralda Xiong. My poem is titled Girl, and it's about gender roles and the double standards of women and men in a household. I was inspired to write about the double standards of women and men in a household because I wanted to talk about the experiences I went through, but most importantly, bring awareness that other girls and women also experience this as well. He's right there on his bed. He's right here on the couch. Phrases I can only hold on to, but I don't know how long I can. Why me? Why is it always me? Things I can only whisper to myself as if I could never dare to ask those out loud. Here running, here laughing. Here running around with my brothers, having fun, but I'm here again being yelled. You're not a boy. Not having girl-like behaviors. I remember all over again, opening my mouth, asking those questions I didn't want to ask. Those words that came from my dad. You're a girl, so act like that. I hate it. Brothers sitting, I'm here cooking. Brothers playing, I'm here cleaning. I can only wear a mask fitting their expectations of a girl. I'm not giving in, I'm fighting, slowly fighting for me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Elsie and I'm in 7th grade. My poem is called Gender Equality. I was inspired to make this because I'm the kind of person who is really against stereotypes. All genders should be treated equally and the same. Shouldn't that be an easy task? Apparently to some it's a game. This shouldn't be a problem in the future. Don't let the future be the same as our past, and that others are inferior. Sorry, this is a man's job or a man getting paid higher for the same job. Won't belong in kitchens. Only a boy can be named Bob. Only girls can wear mascara, only men can be leaders. Only girls can be named Sarah. Why can't a boy be named Sarah and a girl be named Bob? Boys can wear makeup and all genders should get paid the same job. Blue is for boys, pink is for girls. Only boys can wear pants and t-shirts and girls wear dresses and skirts. What if the girl likes blue and the male likes dresses? So let's make this world a desired place where every gender and face can get treated the same and no one feel ashamed. Thank you.
My poem is about environmental activism, so global warming. What inspired me to write this poem was of how global warming is affecting our Earth. I look out my window to see a whole world spinning around me. Things are changing, they say. They are for the better, they say. For they watch, she thinks and think, am I okay? Ice are being melted, wood burned down and cut. Fools are harming the air we breathe in. Plastic destroying our ocean. Our fish and life undersea is dying. Change is what we need. But all we hear are gusts of wind. No one reminding us who are we taking care of. People are telling us signs that our earth is being destroyed. Do we help or stay silent? We are in a mass extinction, they say. We must fight for what's right, for what we live on. We walk on a breathing and luscious planet. We're the people who must help the thing we devote our life for. This is our planet, we must change. It's never too late to change our time now. We must change before it is too late. Change before everything living and thriving here is gone. Thank you.
Congratulations, and thank you so much for participating in the poetry contest.
Next, I'd like to invite our next speaker up, Hmong, Council President of the Hmong 18 Council. Hmong, please, President. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Paul Xiong, and my Hmong name is Xiong. I am the chairman of Hmong Council. It is very rare to come across amazing educators, leaders who make amazing friends, amazing contributions to the community, and most importantly, impacting the life of many students, parents, and community members as a whole, like Marny did during her journey live with us. As the chairman of Untitled Council of Minnesota, I deeply like to thank our beloved daughters, sisters, educators, former school board members, Marny for her amazing leadership, contribution to our community, the St. Paul Public Schools. She was a great role model for everyone, for all kinds of students, teachers, administrators, and for the community. She set an example of a true leadership. She represents an inspirational ideal leadership that inspires young women and men to follow their dreams. I could not thank Marny enough for the many wonderful contributions that she showed us during her life. I also would like to thank you, Marny's parents, families, for raising such a wonderful daughter, and leaders who have impacted the lives of many. Your family set a good example, good role model for our refugee families across the state of Minnesota about supporting our children in whatever capacity. They're passionate in their career. As a parent, we support Marny to become the school board members so she could help change and shape the educational culture in public school system to be inclusive of diverse students, families. This is such an amazing contribution to all races of students, their families in the city of St. Paul. Last but not least, thank you, St. Paul Public School and Washington Technology Managed School staff, students, district leaders, for honoring Marny today, for naming the library after Marny. On behalf of the Hmong community, thank you for your leadership to make this dedication possible for Marny, her families, and the larger community. Thank you so much.
Next, I'd like to call up, I'm kind of going off script here because one of the teachers originally wasn't going to be here and now is here today. So I'm going to call up Cynthia Philippek Johnson, Carla Berry, and Denise Rodriguez to come up here and share a few remarks with the family.
Hello, I'm Cindy Philippek Johnson. I was one of Marny's many teachers. I taught 6th grade at Longfellow Humanities, and of course I knew Marny long before she got to 6th grade. She came from a family that we loved at Longfellow, and it was her way, even as a little girl, to let everyone know who she was. Young Marny was extremely outgoing. She loved to talk. But I remember she also listened. She listened close to whoever she was talking to. This was a quality that Marny always had. She was truly a people person. Marny was creative, hardworking, and had many friends. She loved school. She just couldn't get enough of it. She also looked out for people, starting with her little brothers, up to any kid on the playground who was alone. Like I said, Marny was a people person. She saw things, and she listened with her heart. I taught humanities and creative writing. She loved those subjects. And she was always so curious about everything. Why did World War I happen? How did those pyramids in Egypt get built? Who? When? She wanted to know everything. She wanted to understand it. She wanted to absorb it. She wanted to figure it out. Grade school teachers let their students into their hearts. But we have to be really lucky to get to keep them there and for us to find out how they grew up. Marny was one of those special students. She and her sister Mary kept in touch with me. Marny barely moved away. She wanted to be back in St. Paul with her family and her community. Her roots were a deep part of who she was. When she made the important decision to run for school board, she contacted me. She needed to spend a day shadowing a classroom teacher, and she said she wanted to be in my room again. What a day I had. We had. I was running around proudly showing her off to everyone. And she stepped right in to talk to the kids in my class, talking and listening like she always did, with her heart open to everything they said, curious about who they were. We know, of course, what was in store for her, the incredible highs, and then losing her. I cannot bear to think about the what-ifs. I cannot bear to know that she is gone. I still see her smile, and I hear her voice. I feel blessed to have been to have her in part of my life, and I feel blessed that Marny will always be one of my students. I'd like to thank the Xiong family for inviting me to talk.
Yes, it is an honor to be asked to speak on behalf of Marny, and I love that people are talking about her smile, because that is one thing that you could always count on when you saw Marny. I'm Denise Rodriguez, and they call me Professora. I was their Spanish teacher at Longfellow Humanities Magnet. So I didn't think I could be here, and so I just wrote something small that they put on the back of the program. I really, really, truly want to thank Marny's parents for allowing us the privilege of teaching your children. There aren't a lot of families like yours. All of your children were a joy to teach, and they were all outstanding students, even though at this point they want me to tell them now who was the best one, who was the best Spanish student, but I'm not going to go there. So I wanted to say that in elementary we saw the potential, the endless possibilities of what Marny could do, the places that she would go. And she was such an incredible shining star, and the world truly is less bright without her in it. And even though her promising life was cut short, the things that she accomplished, and I know that many of us teachers were really excited to have her on the school board so that we could go to her with the issues that we see in the schools, and we just knew she was going to fix them. And she used to tell us, she told Sydney, yeah, you let me know, what can I help you guys with out there? So when she, at the end of my career, I was the president of the St. Paul Federation of Teachers, and she talked to me a lot about what kind of things that she could help fix in the schools. So we definitely miss that. So I just want to say is that maybe to move forward, we can honor Marny's legacy by truly saying, what would Marny do? And I think we look at things like that, that maybe we can make the world a little better place and carry her legacy forward. So thank you for asking me to speak.
When I tell people that I taught at Arlington for my first 5 years of teaching, and mind you, this was 20 years ago, I get a variety of reactions. They sometimes indicate that they have greater respect for me for having gone through what I must have gone through. And sometimes they just kind of look at me like, and you're still normal? And I say, you know what, actually, there was this dream called Arlington, and there was this girl named Marny, and she was that dream. She embodied everything that Arlington is meant to be. I taught Marny during my second and third years as an educator. She was one of those students who carried such a bright smile and an easy laugh that she could completely set the tone of a room, automatically outshining all negativity and making everyone around her feel good to be in her presence. Marny was an excellent student, but it didn't always come easy to her. She often wrote her initial drafts in Monglish, and had to work hard to make the English words match the ideas in her head. But she never gave up. She never let her frustration get the better of her in class. She always took a deep breath, asked me for a little more help, and tried again. She seemed to know that everyone else looked up to her as an example of how students were supposed to act in school. And she upheld the highest standard of herself, so they would too. I could always count on Marny to take the time to help me no matter what the task. Often she didn't even hear what it was before she said yes. She was kind-hearted, generous to a fault, and always the first to crack a joke at her own expense. A few years ago I ran into Marny at a retirement celebration for my own high school principal, Ms. McBee. And I realized before she did who she was, and I snuck up behind her. And practically gave her a heart attack, but she did smile and she was very, very excited. It was wonderful to know that I would be recognized. I could sneak up on her and she would absolutely know exactly who I was. We talked for a while, and then as I was walking away, she said, "Miss Paige, wait." Turned back, and she's got her phone all ready to do a selfie. She says, "Sonny was gonna be so jealous." We captured that last moment and parted ways for the last time. I am so proud of Marny, who she is, was, became, and I'm so grateful that the universe gave me the chance to know her even for a little while. The library is a testament to what Marny showed everyone around her. You really can accomplish amazing things. You just have to work for it. Slán go fóill, Marny Xiong. I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much for those personal testaments from Marny's former teachers. The next speaker is Rotc, and with Mr. Rotc, please grant us patience as there will be an interpreter to paraphrase.
Rong khi một năm cái tuổi nó giàu của cái tụi mình thầy mà đi sâu ra nương cái tụi thầy luôn tập cái luôn tập cho này mình cả nhau luôn ở thành phố nó thầu nương cờ ta có lẽ đi qua hồ lục thì ta tụi chìm nương đời thầy đi qua hồ lục tàu nhà ba cái community thầu luôn ở thành phố nó nè để cái những câu chuyện đấy tụi luôn tập về này không cỡ đầu tiên là do một chia khi ở Mỹ đã tiếp ba tới đây hay Mông hay ở America nó có trên cái chỗ mình cỡ đầu trong cái xe để cho để đó là công tác của cái chuyện toàn diện còn nhiều không mày tôi giờ hai cái món tập mông giờ nửa món tụ cá móc của chùa hay nửa mấy người còn các cái chỗ sống cái tổ chức cái gì đó rồng xe rồi khi đi học sinh phò rồng xe cho họ thành phố school district trong xe trong của Washington Magnet School nó họ muốn là lúc rồi bởi vì là cho là trâu nó bị dọc trong cái chân chỉ là nửa tổ bạc bị mong tiền bị cả bên dịch tham gia cái được nhờ tổ cái sự nó thành phố nó gần thêm chỉ nó cái tổ của nó cái thói cho cái tổ nó cho thứ chỉ là cái từ này về thời là cho school board và tan cho cho nên cũng sẽ được tổng thơ tổng là cái tiền tu thải công tiền cỡ tới là cho cái xe nó tiền tiền chỉ là bây giờ chọn là bây giờ là cái tôi nói cái chuyện là chỉ cái những bộ này là mấy cả bây giờ là cái tu mình nói nên cỡ tới còn tổng cái xe cứ tiếp chơi nói cứ tiếp chơi vẫn mình cỡ tới một xe một đi ra dù tàu là tàu cả con bò mà tới nhưng thì tàu bác tôi được nhận tí bác tôi cái phục vụ cho đời nằm để ta không còn cái việc đó ở nhiều tí thân cái như cái mình nữa còn một cái xe thì cả cái lúc mình để trồng để tiền là mà bác tôi để cho lầu hay để cho cái không được rồi cái không phải nhìn là cái tôi nhau cái nó là cái chuyện cho phải nhìn chứ còn bây giờ họ đi cho nhiều thì sao nào rồi bây giờ là trồng xe để cái nó này khán giả ở Washington Magnet School là họ tổng một các và của họ tổ cho biết mình phải mà đi xong là tiếp bây giờ mình tụ sẽ được hải đồ mình đi xong nhận được cái chuyện này là bây giờ tụ sẽ để nên mới tụ tài rồi luôn luôn cái trồng xong chỉ một tổng trồng các món ăn hiện của tuần này để tổ chạy lại cái chuyện tụ sẽ được ta chỉ quay để trồng từ bên này từ một tâm một nhỏ thì nó theo một cái trồng của các món đồ thì tàu chạy chạm vào nhau bây giờ dùng xe để nó cũng nó có một lúc lại rồi là đâu mà đi sâu nước biển mà những cái dùng xe cái nó còn nếu từ nhiều thì mà những trong nên họ cho tụ xe từ khắp kết này của trong đóนู่นเนาะเอาโมกะcủa hai nó cứ vậy quay ra là từ bên tu mà là quan hệ thả xả trong bố này thì mình làm đẹp với cái loại bố này. Thank you. For what teacher in the school, what educate the library under Marny Xiong name. Thank you very much. We work our life during the Vietnam War 1965, 61 to 75. Now we are good citizens of the country. We will try our best to help the United States of America like we helped during the Vietnam War. Thank you.
That was a remark by Mr. Bat Song Ba, son of the late General Van Paul, General Neng Xiong. And on behalf of the Marny family, they would like to also share his message in English. So I'll do my best. I usually cannot give justice to the big speaker, but bear with me. In summary, what Zong said, he extended his greeting to the family, to St. Paul School District, to the staff at the School of Washington Technology Magnet School for giving him the opportunity to come to speak on his behalf, on Marny's family behalf, and the Hmong community behalf. His main message was that he acknowledged that Marny was, in the Hmong language, Itun Thai, a daughter who knew her role and responsibility. She grew up loving, serving the Hmong community and the mainstream community. And when she graduated from college, she didn't move away, but she returned instead to serve and pursue higher places to further serve her community on becoming an elected official as the school board of St. Paul Public School District and the eventual chair. He also extended his status to everyone here in the whole city of St. Paul School District. I was sad to see such a young, inspiring daughter of ours to be passed away at a very young age. He also acknowledged that it is with individuals like Marny and her family who continue to encourage their children to pursue higher education so that they too one day will return and continue to serve their community. He also invites family or parents to continue to support their child or their student regardless of who they are or where they are. Again, he extends his appreciation for having paid his tribute to the late Neng Xiong in giving this Washington Technology Magnet School Library to be named after Marny and her contribution to not just the St. Paul Public School, but to the city of St. Paul and to the greater community within Minnesota. So he said thank you, and he also added with his own version of how fortunate we are to be here in the U.S., the land of the free, because only in 1961 that we, the Hmong people, were dragged into the secret for covert operation in Laos during the American experience in Vietnam, and how fortunate we are to be here to have enjoyed such success today, that we are here in remembering Marny. So thank you.
The next speaker I'd like to call up is Neng Xiong, a good, confident, and friend of the family and Marny's. Neng Xiong.
Hello, and Neng Xiong. I should have worn heels today. But thank you, everyone. What an honor to be here with all of Marny's friends, family, teachers, and also the students who are here to remember Marny's legacy. Thank you to Batan, Rotc, and Batan, Amy, Mary, Kong, John, Pao, Tom, and Hmong for sharing Marny with us. And thank you to the St. Paul Public School Board and administration for supporting today and making it happen. I'm liajdawbnmaya, and Marny was an inspiration to me. And she was one of my co-conspirators in community organizing. We first met at a week-long community organizing training back in 2011. And at that time already, she had already been organizing. She was telling me about how she organized her college to get African American studies. And I was just so blown away and so impressed that she was a trailblazer of our time. She was doing that before Black Lives Matter even had a hashtag. The conviction that she had in the inherent worth and dignity of people, regardless of their race, class, gender, she had it instilled in her. She had that conviction. So I followed her. She started organizing with Take Action Minnesota on organizing a new economy, and I was just a leader. I was a leader, and we fought for minimum wage. And that's how we were able to get the state minimum wage to increase $9.50 index to inflation. And that was because Marny was organizing leaders like me to go and testify at the Capitol. And so she was always a trailblazer. Because as the pandemic hit, we were organizing together. We were trying to stop AAPI hate. We saw that, and so we started organizing our Asian American elected leaders. And we were meeting like weekly. We put together a video that had all our elected leaders, and then Marny said, wait, I can get my kids. And she called her kids, her students, her kids. I can get my kids too. And so they had signs, and then they were able to put into a video together about Asian American solidarity. That is the type of leader that Marny was. Always a trailblazer, always thinking about the kids. And then during the moments where she started getting sick, she called me. She was like, my Chong, I need you to lead the meeting instead. And I was like, okay. And I thought it was so odd. She didn't say anything else, so I was like, okay, I respect you, your boundary. So I didn't say anymore. I was like, okay, I got it. And so we continued to organize. And then the text stopped. The text stopped coming. So, I am here today to just bring that energy and that conviction that Marny had to all of us. And I'm just so proud to just see it within the students still. The students who are here, who share the poetry, you all are so amazing and so inspiring. And that is the inspiration that Marny has left for all of us. She has paved the way for so many of us. So keep that fire. Keep believing in that conviction that we are worthy, regardless of our race, class, or gender. Thank you.
Thank you, my Tom, for your remarks. I truly apologize. I had my list of speakers flipped for a second, so I did miss a speaker. Dr. Neng Xiong, please come up to the stage. I'm so sorry that I skipped over you. Thank you, Dr. Dunlop.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. This is such a wonderful event, and I want to thank Amy and Council Untitled for inviting me to say a word about my good friend, Marny Xiong. I also want to thank Director Jianbu and the rest of the board of directors for making this happen for Marny and for our community. This special dedication is very meaningful, especially in this wonderful building. A building that Marny often told me that she actually once walked these hallways. A building that she often sat in the cafeteria eating. A building that she often came into the library and picked up a book and sat for a moment to read. I thought that's a very beautiful way of coming in here and be able to see that the St. Paul Public Schools actually have done something beautiful, not only for Marny, but for the whole Hmong community. And again, I thank you. And we feel such an honor to see Marny's picture in the main hall. It actually, I'm actually getting a little emotional. I'm not always emotional. I'm out there trying to yell and trying to motivate people. But today, again, I'm very, very emotional. Very happy for Marny. Marny was quite an inspirational individual. She's persistent, resilient. She's a good friend. She and I share something very common, because both of us actually love students and want to make sure that the achievement gap is actually accomplished. As you can see in the some of the quotations that they have about Marny. She's a compassionate, caring educator, and she really focused on DEI, diversity, inclusion, and equity. And that's also the work that I'm also care about, really closing the achievement gap for all students, and particularly marginalized students. I have a lot of stories about Marny. Marny was a very special because she actually called me all the time. Yeah. And I don't know if you actually believe me, but I have to go back and look at all the Facebook messengers, text messages, email, and I just want to show you a few conversations that we have that really demonstrate a true commitment to equity and inclusion for all students. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I want to start on October 30th, 2017. She texted me via Facebook Messenger in the middle of the night, talking about the idea of making St. Paul Public Schools a district that would actually provide a world-class education for all students. And because of the commitment, she wanted to run for school board. And she asked for my thoughts. And of course, she asked for my data, just like any other people. And so I provided her with data and my thoughts to her. And of course, she also invited me to speak at her kickoff event, and I did. On December 12, 2019, she emailed me requesting for my thoughts about some budget in St. Paul Public Schools that were really trying to address the equity or equitable changes in the districts that would actually address culture and climate, and also address instructions that would actually respect cultural differences. Because 78% of the student population in St. Paul are students of color. And of course, I also provided my feedback to the overall thoughts about the huge budget, which again, Superintendent talked about a little earlier. Let me go back into October 29th, 2018. She texted me via Facebook Messenger before St. Paul Public Schools actually vote on the yes referendum. She texted me, and of course, we actually end up, every time she texts me, we also end up talking about the issue for hours. On March 18, 2019, she emailed me and asked me to serve on the advisory group to develop the Hmong studies courses in St. Paul Public Schools. And of course, I also provided my feedback and was able to consult with the advisory group. Unfortunately, I was not able to sit on the meeting. So a lot of these ideas that she had, she actually consulted me first. And we always had conversation, even through past midnight, because of a lot of these passions that she also shared with mine. And so today, coming in here and seeing her pictures, the mural, all the friends and colleagues and students and former teachers coming in here and honor her, it was, again, a dream come true. Marny would be so pleased. I am sure if she here, she would smile and say, "Better something that we did it." And so I know that even though she's not here, her spirit will remain with us. And even though she's not here, she left a huge legacy to inspire the thousands of our students in this district and beyond this district to follow her footsteps and to be the person that she's trying to be. Open up a world-class education for every student, not just Hmong or Asian Americans, but every student that should come into the district, making sure that they have the world-class education. And that's a dream. And today, you actually began the journey. And so I thank you, St. Paul Public Schools, for making this happen and for making this for our students who actually come into the school and be able to see someone who actually look like them on the face and on the wall of this wonderful library. So thank you everyone, and thank you once again, Amy, for inviting me to say a few words about my wonderful good friend, late Neng Xiong. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zhang. The next speaker I'd like to call up is Susan Pa, Mayor Pro Tem. I think I see you over there. Mayor Pro Tem of Brooklyn Park. Please come up, Susan.
Wow, a podium I can see out from. This is a perfect one for me. I'm so grateful to Marny's parents and family for your invitation to say a few words about Marny. Marny is so dearly missed by all of us, and this memorial is in honor of her, and it's very, very fitting. She was an incredible advocate and a champion for students and quality education. You know, Marny has lived her life with great passion and purpose. Marny and I actually spent a lot of time together about 6 years ago when she was helping me on my campaign. We would spend long hours and very late nights talking and strategizing. And I remember one night her sharing with me a story of why she was doing the work that she did in the community. She said it was because of her father and her mother. She She shared with me that her father would have her and all her siblings sit around the dining room table. And he would talk with them about the importance of getting an education and getting a higher education. And then he would say, but you have to use that education and that knowledge to do good in the world and to live their life with purpose. And then Marny's mom would say to all of them, not only that, but you must always remember to live your life with kindness and compassion. And she did. That was exactly what she did. She lived her life with purpose, kindness, and compassion. And she always said her parents were her heroes. And that they instilled in her the courage to live her life with purpose. In fighting for resources, in fighting for the kids in St. Paul School District. She wanted all kids to be able to be successful in school and to thrive in life. And Marny will always be remembered by me, and I'm sure by all of you, and so many more, for the life that she led. She was such a beautiful soul who dedicated her life to this entire community. Marny, we love you, and we will always remember you.
Thank you, Susan. Our last speakers, we have saved this time and space for Mr. Liajdawbnmaya, Marny's mom and dad.
Cứ cho mình dùng nhà này được không? Vấn đề của dân thẳng luôn nó chỉ của xã có đây cho nên cho tí cho tí cho không cho dư cho nó cho chưa cho thấy cho nên đọc sở hở và tí này phần bỏ theo bê cho nên cho tí cho không tốt trò tàu chạy bê rồi giờ thì nó bê thì mua nó tuột giò nó tới chiều bản măng tuột giò nó tới chiều thay nhé tới chiều rong bê giò tí này phần bỏ bê giò bê cho nên cho tí cho không tốt trò của mua tròn chồng còn nó tới chiều lò bê thì tuột giò tới chiều bản măng bê thì mua cho kiến nó khác nhau rồi thế nên sẽ rộng to.
My dad said he wanted to, for everyone to stand for a few minutes there to honor General McPowell and our veterans who have sacrificed their lives for us.
Bây giờ muốn thả cô cho lục cơ thì cô cho muốn xài mà lục thả ra để xài tôi chẳng cái vấn đề. Vấn đề nó của họ vẫn cho nó lúc chạy gần đó ở Washington thành là cũ của cho nó là vì là mua lưu lại bởi là mua mà nhìn về họ còn đó họ vẫn cho từ school board chair dễ vư của cho nó cá nhân
Rotc principal Ilya, Rotc principal Mandy, Rotc principal Joe, Rotc to St. Paul's Major Carter, the Rotc to bắt thang của bắt chạy có ý sản cho đó có cho để sản và có ý sản tôi có bên nó kia có cho nó Miss Philippines Miss Very thế có cho nó thì là con tụi tôi bắt thang vào số thế có cho bỏ được các tour thế có cho nó tới làm long của cái của chuyện Neng Xiong bắt đầu chắc chưa được tồn tại thế có cho nó mấy giờ có thi mà do số giờ tha hoặc cũng chưa có tồn tại thế chứ có cho nó tụi ngồi mấy trong của coi như nhau do của chuyện Neng nó bên bóc thành trong nhỏ theo có cho nó Đô Lan của thị sản sushi và tôi chơi cái nhá chơi nhá nữa chừng quay cho sushi tôi ba thế của cho nó cho nè cho tí của nhỏ đã cũng chỉ cần đó của dòng mong PAC cho nè cho tí là tôi ba cái tôi còn tôi tăng để trong bộ của nó của bên kia của thọ cho nó ba cầm lì kia Karen thiên chi Jockey Stephanie thiên cái yên thọ thiên tu Chen Diễm Mư thiên assistant principal Sejun, thế Ellen, thế Michelle, thì tôi cho nó đi cho được tàn đó thì cho điện cho tí, giờ là cho tôi cho,วันนี้ตัวของลูกน้องใหญ่ลูกถึงเช่นแต่หยอกเนี่ยลูกเตะเขากันคือดอกก็ตุนไทยมันนี่ก็เป็นย้อนลูกเฉยกันดอกแต่ฉันเราเป็นถึงตัวหยอกดอกอยู่ดอกเป็นย้อนมันตายสินั่งคือที่นั่งจะ有保的，弄了那时的多操，不动才帮你，我们我得要来不了呢，我大一点呢，我去大几个，一张完的，我做那张脸就直接着，那就就是着多，这个月的要呢，要老着，都用家我做他们这些做。那时候，做给路，做给巴，做给车，哎，那些多工，到我觉得可能要做不动产嘛呢，做给路，做给叫，做给车呢，可能也好，不过那时候叫，哎，当地呢，叫民都民员，叫都人才，不可能最近到呢，老有搞不动产，老有。tàu cũng mong lo là tuần sai còn sơ cầm chơi còn tàu là có chứ còn tàu là đọc từ lối gì của là giao tàu thế thì cú quan hệ chuyện cho nó chứ.
So my dad, I would like to thank all the people who came to speak today. Chair Jimbo, Kagane Tao, the principals Elias and Principal Mindy, Superintendent Joe Gothard, Mayor Carter, Kong Paul Xiong, Ms. Philpeg, Ms. Berry, and Professora, Mr. Wachong Bang, Dr. Jabong, Mayor Pro Tem Susan Pa, and my Chong Xiong. Also, we would like to thank Fuji San who donated the sushi, and also we would like to thank the Hmong teacher, the Hmong PTO group. They're the people standing in the back who helped set up the food. Let's give them all a hand. And as I call your name for this, please stand up. We truly want to thank the committee who came together and put this event together so that we can have today. We have Kathleen Wayan, Chief Jackie Turner, Stephanie Krajicek, Kaying Tao, Chair Jimbu, Assistant Principal Sejun, Alec Timmerman, and Michelle Leva. And if I must your name, please stand up too so we can recognize you. And then we also would like to thank the artist MK as well. So thank you, MK. And then finally, may all the students who attend this school be blessed and have good fortune. Thank you.
Mà nói với những họ trong chút lớn, với mọi đồng chí thì public school history là mua, là cả mua lô school, và chúng ta nói cho lòng của tụi mình mà mình về cho nó làm một điều nào, thì em có cho đồ, bây giờ làm bị sốt tàn nó thì em có cho đồ, tan hỏi tụi nó cho chúng nó thì em có cho đồ, tụi sự ở thiên đẹp, tan hỏi là ba năm buồn. Cho tôi không thể luôn, sẽ chế tạm như của tôi mình đi cho ta nói lên chúng nó tôi cũng mà nói với họ hay là trong xía thì nó cứ tụi mình đi cho cứng nó phải nhau tại chỉ nên cái xía hay không tôi xía rất là điện xía rất cái một khoa ấy một cái đấu cũng tới như cho cái con tới tất cái món việc mà nó tụi mình đi làm được nó thế chỉ mà nói đừng làm sao vậy anh nói district school ở đây mà khả năng quan trọng sao tụi mình đi khờ nên sau khi chơi khả năng nó bên nhau mà thì nhưng mà cô tu sửa thì không sửa thì em quan tâm đến sự cho cô hay ở bên đó nó thì nó đi bỏ thì côยังมีมันนี่cô tụi mình đi từ dài em một tàu có xong kia em đi đi bên nó cô biết xuân rong đi cả bên cho nó cứ cô sao đi đi cũng cho nó kia jadi tanda là không đi xí thế là tiếp thả tiếp cả một là bao nhiêu mani đúng vậy khởi mani cho cũng cần là gì cái xong là của tụi mani thầu lúc cái linh tu chúng ta phải làm con nữa của tụi mani to tụi chiều mẹ tụi mình nhưng sĩ rau hóa được cơn cầu đi nếu sĩ rau hóa được điểm sĩ to sao đông đông tu nếu như là nhau sau cùng nhưng như thế này thì phụ là lúc chế nó có trong tỏ sẽ phụ thuộc sai của tôi là chế nếu sĩ to nó thế rồi em làm gì là nếu mà họ nghĩ nó ta school nếu mà họ sao họ thế sĩ mua ít sao chế nếu mà đông kia nó nói nếu mà chắc là nó ta school mua tụi sai chỉ tao làm chế vì đâu khó thì anh chỉ tao so vì khó nên mua xí thì mình bỏ ra thì tới mấy giờ mình tụi mình nhớ lợn bóng cá mình tao là ô tô school của mình xí ra mà đi mua lọ kia mà đi mua mà đi lọ kia thì mà đi chẳng cả tao cho mình tụi mình xài cho mình tụi mình nhớ cho cái cần đó còn cho mình tụi mình nhớ cho bóng cá còn cho mình tụi mình nhớ cho mùng đại đồ tua mà đi bảo cho cái nào mà đi chân sao mà đi thế đi xí ra còn nếu tụi school của mà đi chỉ so mà đi qua cho cổ mông trong tụi mình mà nó chế ta là nó sẽ thổi cái linh tung đó là to district mà đi lớn của tụi mình đi nếu như lì nhưng thật rõ rồi nhà nó nhà lì của tụi mình chỉ muốn lúc chơi muốn đọc bé nhỏ thì anh ấy chỉ muốn lúc chơi nó nhung là đọc của điện thoại của những giờ nó cứ cái gì giờ nó sao không giờ nó lúc chơi đâu lúc chơi luôn của thế này nó còn nữa một tên mà nó sao nó cũng hay việc quá chứ này cũng như là nó một tay nó một chế rồi giờ đi nữa nếu mà cái nhau xe thì mà trong đó cũng thà người hay kia người đó học kia nhân nên chơi có nếu mà nhớ tao school mà nên chơi nếu việc hay cũng nên chơi có chẳng nên nhớ tao school mà tao school chỉ hay nhiều mong mình nhớ cái đúng mình nhớ thì nó nhiều cần nhớ chỉ là chọn cái chọn những đứa học này thì còn thủ tư chỉ trong một căn cứ chúng tôi học school mà nó có thì nếu mà người bác ở tàu cho chạy nó có một căn cứ chúng tôi tàu school kia cho nên tôi nhớ tôi cần đâu cần đấy tôi lo mất cái chuyện nào thì tôi dùng cái chuyện nào giờ này mà những người học kia trong cơ cái gì mình mà những chúng một trong những nếu mà chỉ tiền nếu học kiaแต่สิ่งหนึ่งที่เราจัดใจหน่อยที่เขาที่จัดใจมาตอนดิสเพลย์สกูลเลยทุกเทสเราสกูลเลยเทียยังมีมันชีตองกูตัวเชียร์ก็หาเดียวกูตัวใจกูคือก็ได้ชีหนึ่งชีตองเราไม่ย้อนได้ชีตัวเป็นลิงตุ้งเลยยังเลยนุ่งเลยเด็กกูตัวอิ่มหอบของตัวกูเด็กกูอิ่มมันจูชาไปชีตัวนุ่งเลยเด็กbây giờ có sao thấy ta mò cái mà sẽ được sau nó ở đây chứ là do cho cái chuyện cho cái cứ nó xia nó lúc sau sắp tụi nó ta đã phải mình nhớ cần đâu nhưng đi được cái chuyện xia cái cú của tao ở đây trong này thấy ta mò là đâu được to nên tao tu xia của mình vậy có tu xia chắc là nó gì tao đâu phải cần lương nhiều quay nó đi à tụi mình tao tụi chiều mình chơi pet tao hai con lùn nó chia đâu nữa cô xì cơ trong nhà nó này đâu chỉ tao hay đi chơi thì tao hay đi tìm chỉ cho cái cho tao hay chỉ làm kia tụi mình sai chỉ tao sai nó lùn đi rong chia tao mình pet trong thà thì pet dùng này nó mò pet hay cái rong chia tao mình giờ đi nên bị gì hắn chỉ tao nó chơi nó đâu mấy nhau bây giờ tao nó cho bây giờ tung đấy bây giờ mình nói chung mà hai cái nó xuyên tao mình thì lúc đó nó tung đấy người chỉ tao phải cam máu mà xứ hay cho cam máu thể chấp là một lần đó bây giờ mình tụi mình nhớ bây giờ người ta chỉ được cái lúc xuống điện tụi bây lúc chấp là cùng là tiếp lần của tụi mình mà nhìn một lần giờ đến đó tụi mình mà nhìn lúc nào mình có thể chờ tốt tan đó không được đâu tan đó cho nó cho chú đi xong nó tụ cô xong được đâu tụi mình nhìn cứ nhảy cũng to cho nó là giờ đi nếu giờ tụi mình baby tụi mình xài dấu cũng cho nó to cho nó đi đặt gì cũng như giờ đi làm nghề ta đi tụi có cái cũng cho mình nhiều lần mà tụi không lo xử lý nhau một trăm một rồi khi mà mama thì nó cho sao mình cho cái chuyện cho sao mình lúc đó nó mình chỉ nó phá rồi lúc nó giờ đi thằng này là gì cũng hiểu ấy không đi về chuyện thầu cho cái chuyện luôn thầu cho là cho mẹ thầu tư bây giờ còn tư là nó cho chuyện cái chuyện luôn cái chuyện nhỏ bây giờ hai nó cũng cho mình nhung cái gì sợ tao có cho mình đi tụi tê xong rồi tụi mình mà đi sao đó người ta tao biết tụi mình nó nói tụi rút đi nó không cần lo nhiều nó bên nó cũng nó nhiều nó đâu xuống nó một hồi rồi thế cô ra cô biết chịu tụi mình đi tôi xuống rồi ra con nói giúp nhau làm được cho mình dùng
mom just shared. My mom just shared with all of us and you all that when we were growing up, she would sing the song, the I Love You song, and she sang that to us growing up. And okay, she also just shared a few reflections about Marny, such as growing up. Well, my mom said too that Marny has been gone 2 years, 3 months, and 1 day to today. And so my mom, she counts those days, and she, the memories that she has of Marny was that Marny, when she became the chairwoman for the school board, my mom never really got a chance to take her out to celebrate that because Marny was so busy, and then suddenly it was COVID and everything shut down. And so my mom, in March of 2020, it was also Marny's birthday, and Marny was so busy that my mom had to wait until she got home from like work and then school board stuff at like 11 p.m. to really celebrate her birthday. And then my mom just misses her, and my mom just feels strongly that she did not get a chance to really celebrate Marny. And for all the parents in here, please celebrate your loved ones and your children. And then my mom shared other reflections, but these were just in summary what she talked about. So thank you all so much. That's what she also said too, for being here and celebrating Marny, and that her legacy will live on in Washington High School.
I'm Dai Tao, I'm the son-in-law of Mr. Zhao and Neng Xiong, and I want to thank you all for being here tonight. The school board, the board director, board chair Jim, Superintendent Joe Kayang, the planning committee, and their tireless leadership effort in this endeavor, the community leaders, our Hmong veterans, elected official, all our teachers, community, and members and families and friends. Marny was a selfless public servant who made the community's problems her problems and her duty to solve. And to those of us who knew her, Marny was more than a loving daughter, an aunt, a niece, a cousin, a devoted friend and sister. She was beautiful. She was a work of generosity and fire. And I believe that if Marny was here, she would say thank you to all of you who are her co-author, the co-author of her book. And because of you, because of your investment in her, she became who she was. And the way she lived and how she loved her community, it was all because of you, her co-authors. And when people ask me about Marny, we call her Auntie Marny, and it's easy to say, yeah, she was the St. Paul School Board chair, and she passed away due to COVID at the age of 31. But her story is much more than that. You heard tonight from her work in instituting a minor study, African American study in the University of Duluth. Duluth have a racist history, and she was able to work with her co-student colleagues up there to create that. And then she also organized in St. Paul to ensure that they teach Hmong history to all the students, because she understands, as a Hmong American, how important it is to know your identity, that you have a sense of purpose and where you're going. There are many stories you've heard tonight. And I think Marny's story is about hope. It's about not where you start, whether you're a family, a political refugee, or you're from the poorest part of St. Paul, but it's where you go. It's where you take your St. Paul education, and where you go with that, and how you live, and how you love your community. So I hope that the young scholar that will see her mural, and young scholar that into the future will read up about the late St. Paul School Board Chair Marny Xiong, and that they will have hope, and that no matter how difficult their life situation is, that they will live a courageous life, fighting for racial justice and education equity. That they will love the community
by investing in others the way that Marny has invested in them. And as this library, this school, this room where we sit upon, this school of St. Washington Tech, which sits on this hill overlooking this beautiful city, young scholar may start here, may achieve a quality education, go into the world, as Marny always said, dream of a better world, and say, why not? Thank you.
First thing first, Superintendent Rotc and Principal O'Goose and Principal McBride. I would just say next time you have an event for Hmong community, invest in a lower podium or an adjustable podium. Thank you. So, in respecting Marny's former teacher Cynthia Johnson, that she too thought in Hmong first before she put in English. So that today I will try to do my best to recapture briefly of the agenda that was presented to us tonight, and the many speakers, many poetry, many stories that were shared. But I will do my best to do interchangeably between Hmong and English, or in some places, maybe Hmonglish. St. Paul Western Technology Medical School, or la gu và có cho cụ địa cứ Thomas Yap, cứ tua suy chế xài một mông, ta suy trong lì bên một mông bên cho bộ nó, số lên số tụ cụ chỉ và có cho cái xài lùng để lưu tích cho xài trong đây.
Everyone, we are at the end of our event tonight. A couple of things before we close out here that wasn't mentioned. Say Stephanie Krychek, Jackie Turner, say June Yin, Sean Keefe, members of our planning committee. I want to thank facilities department, communication team, purchasing, contract services, and catering company, Cafe Bonsai. And again, I want to mention our mural artist, the MK, for his great work. And one more shout out for the Hmong Parent Advisory Council. I will stop you around here to walk to school.
Giờ này chúng nhiệt sự cái tên trà sẽ đợi những sao một sai lưu library Neng Xiong Memorial Library nó bất chế cho y plau chuột chi Wright Street nhất trong St. Paul, Saint Minnesota cơ nó cho đồ co thì có chế năng sẽ đợi chẳng là sai khó sở sự nó là sầu lý nó ấy có thì có chế năng sẽ đợi rung chi kiện nó cá nhân rung ấy bên mà xin chi đồ trâu lửa rong ấy đó là quyền năng sức xong